Bob Huber, Vintage Lambo, and here we are. I've got a couple caps here that I've taken apart to find out how these gas caps work. And what I discovered is that this particular one was very loose. Let's just say no springing action, and the spring was like gone. It was just gone. Just, I mean, hardly any tidbits at all. It was very weird. So I took apart another one. I happen to have several old ones. And this style here is pretty much a steel bits. And this one you have the brass bits. But there's this spring. And so you're seeing it right here. And this is one that had a little bit of springing action still left in it, but it's dissolving also. So what I want to try and do, because I spoke with another gentleman contacted me with a 350 with a reproduction cap, and it doesn't fit. So there's something about the filler neck on these that is not quite the same as others, as far as Ferraris and whatnot of the vintage, I guess. But anyway, so I'm going to make an attempt to redo these gas caps to the point where something that is non-serviceable becomes serviceable in a good way. I have a very good material here that I was able to pick up. This is all McMaster stuff here. Of course, no one sponsors me. So anyway, I'm just telling you where I found some good products to use. This is very good material and will be able to deal with the alcohol and the fuel of today compared to the older cap and perhaps even the reproduction caps. I don't know exactly where they're made and what material they're using, but now we're going to have control over the material. Now, of course, this could be a failure, so we'll go at it. I'm just in the beginnings here of deciphering what I can do, how I can repair these, and so let's continue on. We'll get on with the program. Okay, so after taking things apart, I'm noticing a couple differences. So on a cap, this happens to be steel that they use, but you see this is not for a ventilated cap. And now on the ventilated cap, you see that, yes, there is this hole that's in there, but on this bottom plate, you see they also include a hole in it. So I would think that just putting a hole in a cap that's non-ventilated might not be successful as far as ventilating. It might be, since things do have probably a little bit of slop here and there, maybe it would be okay. But in this instance, taking it apart and making it fully by putting a hole here and a hole here is probably the best bet. So another reason, luckily I had these old parts. I don't throw away anything. Everything's golden, even though it's a rust color. So that's what we're doing here. We are investigating how these things are put together so that we can go ahead and try and make these things serviceable. Let's take a look at hole placement. So when we put this on and line it up, it's lining up with the hole that's in this piece here. So you can see we got that hole there. Put this guy on here and it lines up. So if indeed you are trying to convert a cap, you can probably drill, but you're going to end up drilling into this piece somewhat, because once you get through this clearance here, it'll probably tap into it. No big deal. This is fairly thick, so just be aware not to go too far. anyway, that's at the moment, that's an advice I'm giving. But anyway, we're very, very early in the game here. I found a spring that's going to work. So just barely fits in there, whatever. But since it's split, it's not going to expand out. So, and I've already put in, one of these guys and pushed down on it. Yeah, it's pretty firm, but not awful. I have another steel one here that one's got a lot of bop to it. So anyway, pretty happy with this so far. I'm thinking I'm on the right track. All right, just take a look at another one. This looks pretty unmolested cap. Pretty nice shape. The spring on it seems pretty weak. And as you can see that the rubber gasket is really shrunk on this thing, and it is petrified. So I'm going to take this one apart also. The only way to take these apart was to destroy that center rivet, I'm going to call it. So let's recreate that. Okay, I'm going to cut this off now, and then I'm going to flip it and do the top of the rivet. Now next I like to make this gasket for the gas tank as accurate as I can, and I wanted to go to the outer diameter the best I can. So what I want to do is I'm going to make this aluminum, two pieces like this, and I'm going to set them up that I can put the 30mm center hole in a piece of the gasket material, and then I can put it and lock it into this device and then do the outer perimeter cut just with a blade, and then I'll have a nice gasket that I can put into the cap. So right now I want to get it out of having on this 3-jaw chuck, and I want to put it into a collet. So I have two of these pieces, 1/2 inch thick aluminum, and I'm going to set it up right like this so that I can put it into my 1 1/16 collet. That's the largest one I have. And so then it'll be locked in, and then I can put in the center holes and all that. I'm going to have an alignment sleeve also in here. I'm going to try and make it as good as I can. And so that's what we're going to do. I'm starting out with just doing duplicating this on the other one, and let's go for it. So I've put on a little material here to make this like about 1 1/16. So then I can go ahead and put it into my collet. So I can do much more accurate work by using a collet than the 3-jaw chuck. All right, so now I've machined in this, so I'm going to put a hole in the rubber gasket. It's going to be 30mm. Now, the thickness of the gasket, I want to make this a little bit smaller as far as the thickness goes, so that when I put these two pieces together, it's going to squeeze them together, hold them in place, and then I'm just going to do a blade on the outside. I'm not going to cut this as far as getting the actual outside dimension until both the pieces are done. Well, both of the pieces are really put together, then I will cut it, because I want to make sure that both of them agree with each other. All right, did some drilling on this. From now on, then I'm going to switch over and put a boring bar in here to get it as accurate. On this one, like I said, I'm going to put a sleeve inside here. So I'm going to have it so that I'll press the sleeve into this one, and then I'll have it slightly, probably 3 or 4 thousandths clearance on the other one, so it can come off and on. But I'll probably have this one where it just stays in it all the time. Okay, now this one is bored. I'm going to go and put the other one on and bore that one out. All right, I did some cleanup and just going to try and facilitate a little clearance for cutting it, so you can see that I've done a little bit of edging there. Okay, that's it for this tool. On to the next. All right, that takes care of it as far as on the lathe. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on the mill. And you put a couple little slots in there. The cutting tool that I have, they put in a couple, you see where they put in some things so things don't spin, they'll lock in place in the tool that comes in a kit, but I just bought this separate cutter. So I'm just going to mill a couple slots in here so that I can just affix this into here. Okay, so you can see I have the slots somewhat lined up with this. Of course, this is aluminum, so it should just sort of, I'm hoping, just give way. And okay, so whoops, big noise, big commotion over something. So anyway, so I had this locked in. She's not going to come apart. Done deal. All right, let's see if this hammer is going to be large enough. I don't know. Pretty hard wood there. I'm thinking that's oak. And I just need to get it pretty much in the center. This does not have to be perfectly accurate, but I need to get a good cut. And will I get a good cut? I don't know. Seems pretty good right now. I think we're through. Probably more than through. Okay. So I think that's a pretty good cut. And what I'll be doing is I'm going to be putting it into to this little contraption here. So, all right. So that was my spare in case I did a little failure, but I think I did okay. I started putting it in this way and go, whoa, I screwed up. I had to like stop the video. What's going on? I had it flipped. Flipped in the head there, huh? Oh my gosh. Okay, so we have it here. And hopefully I can tighten this up. And then this will be, you know, squished slightly. We only want it squished slightly. I'm having my trouble today. If all else fails, flip it over. I need to get this washer so I don't have any problems there. I should have a 3/8 bolt going through here, but anyway, no big deal. Precision all the time here, using a crescent wrench, adjustable wrench. Okay, it looks like it's going to tighten up. Yeah, real good. Okay, so I'm going to put it back on the lathe, and we'll go from there. All right, looking good. Let me shut this video. All right, let's see if I can do this. Okay. See if everything can work out okay. Okay, flip that out. Crank it like this way, then it should go pretty granny slow. All right. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my kind of in reverse. Oh, look at that. So nice. I got these blades through McMaster, heavy duty. You know, it just pays off, you know, to get some good quality blades. Okay, so I'm going to flip this in reverse. My considered reverse, and see what I can do on this thing. I think that's it. I think I made it all the way through. All right. Okay, well, this is a really nice circle. Almost worth saving. Oh, don't save too much. You know, I think that's pretty darn good the way it is. I don't think I need to go and start playing around trimming something. Well, for fun, let's just take this off how I have it here. Hang on 1 second, 1 second. It's getting exciting. I don't know if I can take this off without taking the whole thing out of the... Okay, it looks like I can. It would be awesome if this works out. Okay, so where did I get the proper rubber seal stuff and everything? McMaster. It's like the place I go to shop. So it comes in with adhesive on the back. So now I'll be able to stick this on and in place. And this diameter here, I'm hoping it's going to work out just right. So, whew, I'm crossing fingers on everything, I guess, these days. All right, so we're going to go to the next step. All right, there's a lot of stuff we don't really need in front of us here. That's for sure. So I'm going to go with this one here. I'm going to go with this one for this one. The holes do line up. Everything's okay. So these are the parts I'm going to use on this thing. Adhesive back. So let's see what we got here. See if I can get this off without ruining anything. Not really happy on that. I don't want anything to really mess up that seal. Okay, that is sticky. That is sticky. Doesn't come off that well. It's really stuck on it. It really likes to stick. Okay, so hopefully this is somewhat okay. Pretty gooey here, so ugh. All right, so I'm going to use this one here. So you can see that the hole, you can see through here, so I'm not covering up the hole at all. Now, just to go back in time here, the one that was really loose and the spring was really bad, it had this goo in there. It was like someone coated it up with glue, and I think it might have been taken apart because there wasn't much of a spring. And you see this goo, they put goo in the middle and covered up the vent hole. So it wasn't going to work anyway as far as its purpose from the get-go. All right, so now with this spring, I took off a little bit of diameter because when this spring is compressed, it was going to maybe interfere down there. I didn't want that to happen. So I took a little bit off. Okay, so now, so she shakes a little bit, so we have a little bit of clearance. All right. This guy, this barely fits in. I mean, they really designed these things just to make it. See? Just fits in. And this rivet is going to go inside here. And I'm going to have this on top. And then we're going to have to compress this down so that we can go ahead and knock this thing into place. So that's how it's looking right now. So I'll be getting out to the press and see what I can do. All right, back at the lathe, sort of a change in design here. You know, I went to install this into the gas cap, and I would have to hold down that spring-loaded seal down so that I could ping this over. It was looking like it could be another major tool to try and do that. And then I started thinking, you know, I would just be making it back to a part that you couldn't repair unless you destroyed something in it. So I really want to make this so that you can maintain it. So what I'm going to do, scrap this one. I'm going to make it so that I'm going to thread it. I'm going to put a brass screw on this side, and I'm going to put a slot over here. So then in 10 years, if you want to then renew this seal, you can do it without messing up everything, trying to get it apart and everything. So that's going to be the aim, that I'm going to make a couple of these so that it is now a part that you can actually take apart and replace the seal. So that's, I know it's starting over, never good in a lot of ways, but I think this is going to be really a good thing to do. You know, I think I already reiterated this in another little snippet, but the replacement cap that they sell, it's not wanting to fit on a 350. So, you know, what good is it? So I think repairing these old ones has a lot of merit. All right, let's just go ahead, shut up. Let's get back to the program, okay? All right, so I'm going to start machining this out, essentially almost duplicating this, except this is not going to stick out much, but just the thickness of that center brass ring. So then, and then thread this, all that good stuff. It's going to happen. All right, let's get on with it. All right, so I've threaded the inside here. Of course, this area here, this is going to be lopped off quite a bit, but I needed this extra so I could put the curvature on the other end here. So that's what's going on. We'll just cut it off, flip it over. Okay, we're back at it again. So essentially I have enough material over here that I can flip it. I mean, it's like this, cut. Then I can bring this out a little bit, and then I'll do a cut off, because this is only going to be 20 thousandths or so sticking out. I will figure out that actual dimension, and then I will slice it. Okay, I need to do a little touchy-feely. This is about 20 thousandths too much, so I need to take some of this off, but it's going to be kind of a by my eye to see how well it works. So let's see here. Uh, 6 thousandths more. Let's see what we got here. All right. Half a thousandths is well in tolerance. I will take it. And then I just have to go ahead and I need to do a little bit of a, take the first threads out for a screw clearance situation. That sort of thing. All right. Take that out, and then I'll just go and clean up, make sure that the threads, whoops, are real good, which they've been boogered up a little bit here. Well, I'm doing both caps naturally. So this one apart, you can see right here, it's been drilled through. It wasn't stamped, this hole here. Nor this little guy here. In fact, this guy kind of took a little beating here. I don't know what happened there. So I'll try and straighten that out a little bit. This is unusual here. Cork gasket, still super, you know. I'm sure it's the original one, but they used a cork on that. That's the first one I saw being used with cork. Okay, I'm going to clean up these parts, and then we'll have 2 rebuilt caps that can be rebuilt again. I won't put you through the whole agony, but I'm thinking it's going to break any second now, so that's how I'm treating this. This is not boredom, this is just pure anxiety. Anyway, that's how it's going. It's not going inch by inch, it's going hair by hair. It's about a 5,000th cut. Pretty happy with this cap. It's a serviceable cap now, not a non-serviceable. All right, well, here we go. We've got a cap. So it's now serviceable, and it's set up so now if you wanted to replace this gasket seal, you can do it without breaking anything or having to make something or whatever. It just can unscrew now. So what's better? Having 2. So here we go. 2 serviceable caps. Okay, well, we need to find out if it fits. Okay, well, we need to go out to the car. Okay, we're at the car. Put the cap on. That's as far as it screws on. There's a cam effect on here. It goes down. You see how this pops up some? So now that's where the ventilation comes through. And to take it off and feel it. Okay, well, if you like what you're seeing here, please like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye now.